someone calls, they're talking to someone that they know that they've had a conversation with in the past. And when it comes to our clients, the management companies, certain management companies like to do things certain ways. And so we know them and we know how they want to handle things. So we're able to handle things the way they want it done rather than just having a cookie
So
cutter
you think a big
production line.
company might say that's just the way we do it,
Absolutely.
and we are so yeah. I mean, you hear the cliche. It's not how big, it's how you know. Anyway, it's more. What's our topic again? I forgot.
Hey, our topic today is going to be Botique versus Bohemoth.
Oh,
So
I remember.
what is it? What are the benefits of working with a company that is, let's say, smaller, or I don't know if we say smaller in size, smaller in stature. So what is the benefits? What are the benefits of working with a smaller company rather than a huge company?
Well, I think you probably don't feel like a number, and people use that very cliche. But if you're calling and you need something and you get through and you feel like, wow, I feel like I'm the only client. I think we have that feel where you get through. Once in a while it's tough where everyone gets hit,
Yeah,
but not as a way to do business. You're always on the queue. You always have a problem. You're always on hold, or your people are always waiting for something from them. I don't know. What does that feel like to you? Too big?
yeah, I agree with that. We did hear someone one time call us and say, hey, uh, when I called your competitor, I was caller number 19, and they didn't like that, so they called us. So we've seen that. I've had we've had people contact our customer service to try to place an order because they weren't getting any. It was interesting, like they weren't getting any service from the competitor, and they thought, well, like we could all just provide the documents.
We can get you the documents because they're
Yeah,
failing.
yeah. Even though it wasn't that, we don't work with that management company. So, we've seen the effects of people telling us about the poor customer service, or because they just couldn't get through to somebody on the other
Right.
with one of our competitors. So, yeah, I think that's a huge difference from the
So we
Rockfire
brought
standpoint.
so we're bringing customer service in. We don't want to. Is customer service a big part of being big or small? I mean, you'd assume that organically you could increase. That's the way I think we're growing is methodically. So I think
Right.
that's the
So,
difference,
yeah,
actually.
I agree with that. I think that us knowing that the big guys, when someone calls their caller number 19, we can manage our growth in such a way that we know that our people aren't going to ever be caller number 19. The way that we do it now is we actually don't even put people on hold. Someone calls and they either talk to a live person or they leave a message and get a call back within just a few minutes. So yeah, I think
Okay,
that
so
plays a
that's
big
in
part of it.
general. In general, you're saying all customer service, because we do have two kinds: our clients and the people that come to the site to get a
Right.
thing, the documents. So you're saying everyone is real time?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well,
Yeah.
and that's something I knew. That was a loaded question, so the audience member could get a sense of,
Yeah.
wow, really? Okay, because really, to
Yeah.
me, that's both their clients and them as our clients will not. We strive for that,
Right.
it's really a way of doing business that makes us separate from the rest.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So that's definitely for us. That's definitely one of the benefits that our clients see of working with us with a smaller, more intimate company. Another benefit of that is still on the customer service side of it is the repeat customer or the clients that we're dealing with the management companies. We actually know the people that we work with. And so when someone calls, they're talking to someone that they know that they've had a conversation with in the past. And when it comes to our clients, the management companies, certain management companies like to do things certain ways. And so we know them and we know how they want to handle things. So we're able to handle things the way they want it done rather than just having a cookie
So
cutter
you think a big
production line.
company might say that's just the way we do it,
Absolutely.
and we are a bit more flexible. I mean, we might still have some points of which we cannot do anything about it, but in
Right.
general, we can give a feel to the client as we're tailoring it for them. Even though
Absolutely.
we might change it for everybody, but
Right.
their suggestion can mold and shape and has done that for years for our
Yeah.
site.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I can tell you we came across a video that a management company had online somewhere that was basically an in-house training. So it was training for their people, and they use HomeWise docs. And so they said, hey, they're going through the training process, and said, well, for this part, you just have to give it to me because they don't allow us to do this thing, so I have to do it myself. They added like a manual process, right? And just in seeing that reminded me of how different we are, because when we work with clients, when they say, hey, this is a process, this is part of our process, we want to automate everything, right? And so that's, I think, where you're going, saying, look, we can customize it, we can change the way that we do business. We're not like off the shelf plugging in and very rigid, saying you have to do it the way we want you to do it. We say, hey, this is how we do it, but if you have an idea of how to do it better, or there's something that should be done differently, we want to listen to that and make those changes. I think that's what you were talking about, right?
Well, and I think we're talking about the characteristics of, because we're small and boutique, I like the word, and
Yeah.
cater. Cater promises something, but we do kind of try. We try to cater. Whereas if you're a behemoth, one of the biggest, which is sold as an asset, like a thing you're going to get. You're coming into the most crowded company. We're the biggest. We're the plumpiest. We're not the most agile, I would think. Biggest, huge, agile doesn't seem to go with that. And so we
No.
could say we're not going to get as big as them because we're growing on purpose. We make our money. I wouldn't call them greedy. I wouldn't say a bad word like that. I would say we're all working to make profit, and we all look at that maybe differently.
Yeah.
Um, Maybe not at all differently, just a philosophy of staying sane in a business that drives you crazy.
Yeah.
Maybe the management companies understand that. And do you need to go with a big, huge company that's just, they're big and they've been around. We've been around longer,
Yeah.
and they've been around forever. We all have. At some point, we just chose not to grow crazy.
Yeah.
I think that was a choice that gives us this confidence now of, we got it together, we're small, and now we're going to take clients as we see fit, as we want them. Hey, we don't jive, we don't do. Yeah.
Right.
Good.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that we want to be all things to all people. We want to be the best for the clients that we work with. And
Perfect.
that's it. You brought up something a minute ago. You said like how they use that, like, well, we're really big. They use that for their marketing. So at one point, they actually did
Well, they've
marketing.
said we're really small.
Well,
They've
yeah,
literally said that small is not good. And I'm trying to figure out, how does that
yeah,
work for them?
yeah.
How
Well,
does that work for them?
that's what I was going to say, is that I know that they market to our clients, right? And they'll go to our clients and say, oh, you need to switch to us because we have thousands of whatever. We have thousands of associations or management companies or whatever. And and one of our clients in particular came to me and said, hey, they're sending me this stuff saying you need to come to us because we're so big. And she said, I'd rather be a moderate sized fish in a moderate sized pond than a moderate sized fish in the ocean. So she knows that that's the service and attention that she's going to get, that she probably wouldn't get somewhere else. Like you said, being one of 100 or being one of 1,000, which gives you more attention.
I think it's, as a client, what you perceive as excellence.
Yeah.
Now, if you sit back and you go, wow, they say they're big, that's good. Big, McDonald's is good. I die of a coronary at 50 because I eat McDonald's because it's so good. Things don't make sense. Then they probably don't. What
Yeah.
we're saying makes sense. Agile, we can make changes to our site. Not that they don't, but they're not agile. There's no way they could say, yeah, us too. Yeah, okay, sure.
Right.
But we know we are, and how we do business can only affect the next layer of chosen clients. It sounds pompous in a way, but I think it's one of the secrets to what we feel is, once again, we work an 8-hour day. We're not going crazy. We know our clients. They know us. They're not, and I don't want to ever say I take them for granted. They're going nowhere.
No
But
way.
we build an environment that why would they go? And don't they trust us, and there's loyalty there, and we feel like the whole process and the way we do business is the reason. And you can't, how do we quantify it? How do you put that in a mailer? I mean, really, you can't put it in a mailer. You can just
Yeah.
do what we're doing and hoping enough people see it. And then hopefully people call, we have a conversation, they see we're consistent, and they want to try something new, go from the competitor to us. And you can always go back. You won't, but
Right.
we all say the same thing. We all say the same thing. You won't go back. But the thing is, why wouldn't you want to be treated like a partner? Like when you call your partner on the phone, you pretty much are going to get them. The priority is my partner's calling me. I'm going to pick it up, or I'll get to it right away. I'm in a meeting. So there's a priority built into this relationship that is just not there. I don't know how else to better put it to words. Is it just not there? And we're just not making that environment. It's not even a bait and switch. 10 years from now, you're not going to go, wow, I thought they said I'm not going to be caller 19 and now I'm caller 23. So it's like, how do we know we're not going to do that. So it's really a matter of, we all kind of do the same thing. It's the how and the people behind it.
Right.
In my opinion.
Well, you mentioned growth there, and something that I've known you for over 23 years is something I've heard many, many times is growing on purpose with purpose. And that's exactly how we treat this. We're growing on purpose with purpose, and we know that our purpose is customer service or keeping that boutique feel, that the relationship. I think the key word there was relationship, right? Keeping that relationship with our clients is what's important to us. It's not getting as many clients as possible. It's having a great relationship with the clients that we have.
You become a different kind of company that has to maintain the big.
Yeah.
You cannot we could become a big company that's maintaining the small. That's for
Absolutely.
sure. But you cannot become a small company that's grown big. Yeah. People will say, no, that's possible. Okay. You label it. What are they doing now? Like a white glove or, a concierge. You're labeling something to give the impression of, but we're doing it. So unless they start over again and do things competitively the way we do it, it really isn't the same thing. They can't do it.
Right.
So it really comes down to a client that hears this value and says, okay, I'm not with anybody. I'll look at it through their lens. I'm not with it. Hey, they should do that with HomeWise docs. And then, pick who you pick and then go, hey, if I'm not happy in 30 days, I'm leaving. And if you're happy, we believe you'll be happy with us.
Absolutely.
So why not try with us? It'll be the easiest to get in, be the easiest to get out. You just stop using us and move on. But that just isn't going to happen. Don't you think? I mean, can you elaborate on, maybe we have a client that was juggling the two or thinking about it, or I don't know.
Well, I can tell you that we have, we have quite a few clients that came from competitors, and they came for different reasons. And one of the reasons that we hear consistently is failed promises. They said, oh, they promised they were going to do this, and they've been telling me for 2 years they're going to do that, and they never did it. And so then they say, well, how do you handle whatever the issue is? How do you handle it? We show them how we handle that, and then you're like, oh, that's exactly what I was trying to get them to do. And so they make the change, and then once they make the change, they're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe how much better this is. So yeah, we've heard that several times.
What's the one reason why people don't come to us? Because they feel that we are too small.
Right. Because that's what they're marketed by the competitors.
Those guys are too small. Can they really handle you? And you go, well, no, big is going to handle this, no doubt. And then they find out, wow, they really don't do this, and they're too big to do that, and they really don't have time for me there. I mean, why bother going there to get those boxes checked? Why go there to go, no, big isn't good?
Yeah. And I think a lot of people have the idea that, the way they're being sold is bigger is better. Right? So when they're sold and said, hey, look at how many clients we have in your area, and so you should be like everyone else in your area, And then you go like, so people want to belong. They want to do what other people are doing.
But aren't most clients, we have discussed this in other recordings, most clients are moderate 2,500. They're not huge clients. It's almost
Correct.
like, we love the big behemoth companies. Maybe they should just go to the big behemoth document companies and let the smaller companies that want that smaller field, let them all flock to us. And we'll decide who we can help and who should go to them. And that would be a great world, wouldn't it? Is that what we're trying to develop, where people actually come over because they see the benefit in a smaller boutique where you're going to come in and feel like you're the only client we have? Is that something that you think that there's just a certain segment of these management company owners that want that?
I do. And you know what? I'm going to say I believe that. And you mentioned this a minute ago, the white glove treatment, which is interesting because one of our competitors has that on their website, and the other one is stole it from their website. I'll just say it's on Condo Search on their website, says we have the white glove treatment, and then HomeWise stole that, and in their marketing to our clients, they're saying, oh, we have the white glove treatment,
And
and
they are validating our position, which is
it,
we deal with everybody with not white
it,
gloves or kick gloves,
yeah.
but individually they know we're there.
And that's what I was going to say is that's their way of trying to compete with us, and at the same time saying you need to come to us because we're big and they're small, but we're going to identify this special treatment that we're going to give you, so we're going to make you feel like you're getting treated the way you would have gotten treated if you were with Get Docs Now,
They
which is
just can't
crazy.
be, they can't compete going, we're just like them. Let's think about this. Let's compete saying we're just like the competitor. How do we compete that way? We're just like them. We do that. They do, we say we do something. Don't
Yeah,
they say they do it too? How can you compete saying we're just like
you can't.
them?
And
So
what's the
to
number one
me,
question? What makes you different? Why are you different?
and that's what we're talking about
Right.
today. Even though we're talking about them on the opposite side of different, which we're saying is negative, but they're saying it by go with us, we're huge. And what I'm saying, how does that resonate as good? How does that really sound? That's great. Why not come to us? We're individualized. You're going to feel not like a number. You're going to have your needs met. The system works so good, you don't really need to call us. It's kind of why we designed it the way it's designed. In a sense, it just works. And that's what we're selling. The whole thing, people system and the system,
Right.
the customer service system, it all works together. So yeah, I mean, you hear the cliche, it's not how big, it's how anyway, it's more like really close to how we do it.
Yeah.
It's not even a secret sauce. It's how it should be done. What do you think?
Yeah. Oh, well, you know what? I think there are certain people, there are certain management companies, owners that are going to flock to that. Bigger. I want to be part of that big thing. But I
There
think
you
that
go.
there's, and
Let
that's
them go
great.
there.
You know
Let
what?
them
That's
go.
great. That's great. Go there. But I think that there's also, I think there's a good majority that also are saying, hey, I see this as a partnership. I see this as a the second largest revenue in my company, the thing that's going to help make the most profit in my company, and I want to partner in that. And those people are going to find the benefit of working with us.
Isn't it kind of nervy to say we're a partner with them? Isn't it kind of nervy to just move in on a partnership position with a company that doesn't even know us?
You
It's
know,
kind of like, isn't it? Don't you think that phrase alone rubs an owner the wrong way? If they look at it wrong, it
it
might.
right. It may, and I
Do we just
think
take pride in what we do that we just know it's going to feel like a partnership?
we know that it's going to be a partnership. They're so ingrained with the term vendor, and they're thinking vendor and they're thinking
Serve.
outsourcing. Yeah, and we're like, no, that's not what we do. We partner with you to maximize the efficiency and the revenue the and the
Measurable.
yeah, it's absolutely
Because they
measurable.
have their numbers they can measure against. You could look at it, they're measuring against our numbers, but really we're measuring against their numbers. Their numbers are established. We're
Right,
going to have new numbers, even with our fee, and we're going
right.
to be able to show them in a discussion 2 months, 6 months, a year later to show the value. Even forget the one-on-one, you don't feel like you're with too huge a company. Now the benefit of using us because we think profit.
Yeah. We think your profit. The
Well, we
management
think
companies.
partnership. I think when we think
Right.
partnership, we empathize with profit, and we look at your. We keep saying second largest income stream. If they keep pushing their first down for competition, it may become their first. So they really do have to, if they're going to use and become efficient and streamlined, and they want to use a system like outsourced system like us, they really do have to believe in the concept of we're partnering with. We touch your money.
Right.
You trust us to give it to you, your share. I mean, that's a big, we take that. I mean, all of us do in this industry take it seriously. Being bigger doesn't protect it any better.
I would say, you could argue that it would protect it
We might
worse.
miss something. And how big do you get before something falls through the cracks? Now, we are
Yeah.
knocking them a little bit, but we know what we do. It just works for our clients right now. I mean, right? I mean,
Yeah.
so we're building on that feel. So as we grow, we don't want input from our clients going, hey, we were on hold for 5 minutes. We will change stuff and we never hear it because we're so sensitive to it, I think,
Right.
you know?
Right.
And really
Right.
it's just hire the right people, right? And then move on from there.
Absolutely.
What do some clients say to us about, forget our effect on them, because that's like a other conversation, but are there any stories, because you're the storyteller, are there any stories that you know or client testimonials that are specific to, gosh, you guys are like always there, or I don't even know, this is not even a loaded question, you might say nope, Joe, great, we'll have to edit this out, but I'm thinking there is something that has come up to kind of make us feel good about kind of the how and why we do business the way we do.
I'll tell you this. We get those, uh, I'm going to say almost daily. We get those thank you emails because of the way we took care of something, whether it was, and the thing that's coming up recently is the lender questionnaires. And so the lenders are bugging the management companies. We step in and we take that conversation with the lender. We remove the management company from that conversation because it's not their place to have that. And so just yesterday, we saw one where a lender was emailing with the client. They wanted things that were out of line, and we stepped in. Our customer service stepped in and said, "Hey, we're going to take care of this. I'll contact them. We'll get them what they need. We'll take care of it." And we get the email back from the management company that says, "Hey, thank you so much. I appreciate you guys are always there for us. Always taking care of that." So I think that's what you were asking for, right? So
We get little, we don't get like maybe a testimonial unsolicited, but you're saying throughout the day as we perform these things, and they're noticing basically the attention to detail, or the maybe a good turnaround, a good adequate turnaround. They have an expectation of they should return my call within the half hour, and we do it in 10 minutes or 20 minutes. So therefore, we're meeting their expectation for normal course of business.
for our normal course of business, but more
Hours.
importantly, yeah, and I think the key there, Joe, is that we do what we say we're going to do. When we're signing someone up, when we're selling, if I'm talking to a management company and I'm saying, "Hey, you should do business with us because we're going to take 97% of your customer service calls regarding documents." That's not just lip service to get someone to agree to do business with us. So on that particular client I was just talking about, they've been with us since about July of this year. So what they're seeing is we're doing the things that we said we were going to do even after the sale was made, right? We're not just telling you stuff to get you in and then dropping the ball. I think that's the appreciation that we're seeing on a daily basis.
Uh, hmm. How about the background of owners of the companies that we compete with? The background of the owners being more of a processing plant, a background that they have of owning mortgage companies that do volume and transaction coordinators, strong and heavy, with background pushing paper. Do you think that has created the beast? And when you look at our background as realtor, broker, a lot of our processing, no matter how big we get and try to computerize, we're still dealing with a file and a client in the car.
Mm-hmm.
And there's always that touch, even though a lender would argue, it's going to be a little long in the question. A lender, and their background is lender, but a lender processor company, secondary market selling, blah, blah, blah. All of that is very huge, bundling. The mentality of that only creates a very cold process, is all I'm saying. Do you think
Right.
that's overly dramatic, or does it paint a picture of even more so it's impossible for them to understand why we do business the way we do? Because I think they look at us like, how are they still in business? How are
Right.
they still, how are they a thorn in my foot? You know, how
Hmm.
are they still there? Haven't we put them out of business yet? And it just is interesting that that has not happened by them.
Right.
So that whole philosophy of their background, can you expand on, maybe there's
Yeah.
a nuance there or something?
Absolutely.
Because Condo Search and HomeWise
Yeah. I
all the
mean,
same background.
quick history lesson. Get Docs
Thank
Now
you.
started in '99. We sold our first package in 2001. 2004, Condo Search came on the scene. Condo Search was started by guys that owned a mortgage company. So they are mortgage guys. That's what they did. And so they said, and that's why the name is called Condo Search, because they said, hey, well, we need condo search. Right back then, they were called condominium certifications or condo search. So they started a company called Condo Search. Whereas we were focused on, Get Docs Now was focused on the resale package and the escrow demand, the actual transactional side, because of your experience and your background in the real estate industry. In fact, at the time, you were a broker at the time, right?
Just trying
So
to make it an easier process for realtors. That's where we were doing it for, not
right.
for the management companies. We didn't even come from it at that
Right.
angle.
The side effect was that it made it easier for the management companies, a lot
Mhm.
less laborious. So anyway, so that's what happened. So condo certs came along. They were focused on the condo certs, and then they ultimately sold to the bank, waited out their 2-year non-compete, and came back. The same guys came back and with HomeWise stocks. So it's the same guys that started it, some from the mortgage background. So they still are mortgage focused. And like you said, I mean, maybe that's a sterile transactional, purely transactional type of
Well, there's what I'm saying.
background.
There's a built-in buffer distance. Not with a realtor with a file and you're in my car. There's no built-in buffer distance. But they
Right.
could be talking to someone in Florida to get their mortgage.
Right.
So the industry isn't see you almost every day until you buy your house, talk to you almost every day until we get you closed. Yeah,
Right.
it's a different feel. So I always came from you too. How
Yeah.
did you sell insurance? You didn't sell it in you stay where you are. You went and got it.
Yeah, that's what I
So
was going to say. Your
yeah,
your background with the real estate side than me as an insurance agent, a commercial insurance agent, not personal line. So I didn't have people coming in my door saying, "Hey, I want to buy insurance." I went out and met with them and
you met
developed
me at my
relationships.
office and you do several touches. It
Yeah,
was here, it wasn't just a one stop. So to
it
get to
was
the
it.
chase,
The other thing is, I'm going to add this because we're
cut to the
right here.
chase on the
So
story.
we're right here. So I'm going to add this, and this goes into the boutique versus behemoth. Okay,
That's what I'm
is
getting to.
right, and this ties right back into it. As an insurance agent, I had to discover needs, I had to uncover risks, and find a way to cover those risks or provide the services and the policies that would cover those risks. And now we're doing the same thing
And it's
now.
very, in your business of insurance, it's very like, I don't need this. Why am I paying for this? I don't need this. It's
Right.
a much different when you're talking about a system that kind of takes out some of the risk of staying current on state law. I mean, for
Yeah.
one thing. So go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, so I mean, to tie it right back into the boutique versus the behemoth, I think when we say, and I'm glad we're having this conversation. This is like a revelation for the first time
No,
we're
it's
having
good.
actually this conversation, right? Is that because of our experience, because of where we are, we treat our clients differently. We treat our clients, and I want to get to know our client and find out what are they doing in their office. How can we improve that process? Not just, hey, here's what we have, buy into it. And and from you with that face to face, you're saying like with a real estate buyer in your car. I mean, that's relationship. I think that's the biggest thing that's going to say that would set us apart is the relationship. And I'm talking about a real relationship where we really care about what's going on and how to improve it, not just a on the surface relationship of yeah, let's do business together.
Or even, we're not even talking about, the kids' names and their birthdays, because that's and I know that's something that comes from getting to know on the process side. But we
Right.
really are talking almost, for what we do, and it's a partnership. Let's not forget that it's kind of an intimate. That's a weird word in business, but it's kind of an intimacy that that's created because when we do it, they breathe easier. They're acting more like, wow, this is pretty cool. I like this. And when it happens a couple times, now it's a way of how we interact now. And it's much better than caller number 10. I've been
Mm-hmm.
on hold for 20 minutes. 5 things are happening. I'm looking at my watch. Lunch is coming. I mean, so they are placed in a situation. It's the normal situation for them. But it's almost, when you say this is true, I'm telling a story, that we almost create that environment of, at least with them, I'm not going to experience that.
Oh
That's
yeah.
really how I feel, because most people default to, I'll let the voicemail pick up. I'm
Yeah.
out mowing lawns. I will get back to everyone after 3:30. People do business what's convenient for them. And this happens to be making sense in the long term, most convenient for us, because we could delay the inevitable, but they're going to get us on the phone and yell and scream and get upset. So we've made necessary changes to make everyone as happy as they can be, because things go wrong.
Right.
Anyway, you
Right.
want to elaborate on that, or is
I
that too
think I think the
philosophical?
no, I think the intimacy is, I think that's actually a good word. And what I was thinking about when you were talking about that was the trust. If we have trust and honesty in our conversations, we can actually build a better mousetrap, right? So if a client is willing to trust us, which they have, and be honest with us and say some things maybe that might be putting them in a vulnerable spot or possibly hurting our feelings, we have those tough conversations, and you know what comes out of it? A better product, a better relationship, and ultimately a better service that we provide for our clients, and not just the ones who we have that particular conversation with, but we apply it across the board, so everyone gets to benefit from that.
Well said. I mean, really, there was something else I wanted to talk about, and we actually did in that intimacy statement, which was, there was something missing. We talked about everything, and then it was like that closeness. There is something that develops where I think that's why, after some time, I could say 9 months, 8 months, 5 months, a year, probably a year with us. I don't want to talk pompous or full of ourselves, but
No,
I think we really feel like our clients, unless we royally make a mistake that we don't care about, and mostly we take care of everything, right?
yeah,
Unless we do
yeah,
something blatant, not that they're not going anywhere, but they appreciate all of this that we're talking about. This is that part of loyalty that we are experiencing now, which
right,
is, I think there was a point where we couldn't understand why this comes from this question, and I want this in this tape.
yeah,
The factor that we were told they're loyal to them, the other guy. Oh my
right,
God, kind of certain. And we couldn't figure it out because they were complaining about a lot of stuff. They were complaining about being caller 10 or 20. They were complaining about their treatment. They were complaining about the site. And then they'd say, but I'm loyal to them. And we really not, that's still, I can't even talk it through right now because I can't make heads or
right.
tails. But we earn it. Like, I feel like once they cross over, I don't want to take anything for granted, but they're locked in.
Oh,
They're locked in, and
yeah.
they understand. They're just saying they're big to get us to go over there. It's nothing. It doesn't help
I
us.
want to say this is that our clients that were in house and came to us, which are the majority of our clients, okay, were in house, so they've never experienced the dark side. But then we have the other part of our clients that came from the competitor, and for whatever reason, and when they came over, it's not, they came over and they are the ones that are really appreciative, right? And those are the ones that I feel like you said, like they're not going to go anywhere because they've already experienced that, and they know that it's what's being sold in the marketing isn't necessarily what's actually happening in reality. And so I think those are the ones that, yeah, they're pretty much not going to go somewhere else. but the ones who,
I hate saying it. I don't
you
want
know
to
what I
take it for
mean?
granted. We do not take it for granted, but
Right. Not at all.
there are people that we thought, man, they might go, and they don't. And the
Right.
proof, and then we let it go. We go, okay, well, I guess they're not going because sometimes people sound perturbed.
Hmm.
This is inconveniencing. The fact that you did this or your site didn't do that, and you told me it would do it. But they're also forgiving. Well, I got you really quick. You call me back. You made it a priority. It was done in an hour or a half hour,
Yeah.
depending on the problem. So
Right.
there's the I'm pissed, and then well, you took care of it. I guess I'm not really. You did your job. You did
Look,
what.
I just want to say this so the people watching this don't get the wrong impression. Yeah, people are pissed. Why? Because we use technology, and sometimes technology breaks.
Shit,
Okay,
stuff doesn't work
and
sometimes.
when it breaks, how do we know it broke? Because someone called us and said, "Hey, your stuff is broken." Okay, that in that moment, how do we respond? That's what's important. Okay,
Yes,
and
yes.
if anyone tells you that technology doesn't break, they are a liar.
And it's breaking constantly, and they're fixing it before you even know it. In many ways, there's things and bells and whistles and alarms that let us know something's broke. This needs attention, and we're there before it becomes a problem. But not something always gets
right,
behind. No
right.
matter what you do, the best you
You
can do,
can
it doesn't matter.
you can never prepare or test
Enough.
for every possible
But at some
scenario.
point in business, there's diminishing returns trying to prepare for every little thing. And
Right.
sometimes the little thing becomes a big thing. So we just don't know. We try to do our best, and that's all you can ask
Yeah.
from a
Yeah. So
provider of a
I just
service.
wanted to clarify that
Yeah.
for anyone who is watching this to say, oh well, why would they be mad? Well, that's what happens. You know what?
Yep.
Once in a while something happens, and we got to
It's
address
how
it.
we
So
take care of it, and
yeah,
the interaction and the friend. You talk about a friendship, it doesn't happen right away, but it develops, or a respect, a business respect, or I know Brad. Brad knows me. I call him. He calls me. That
yeah,
even that alone is what we're talking about. And once again, going back to the big guy who's selling big is good, we're saying no, no, big is not good. In this, really think it through. It feels like it's good, but you do need a company that does business like this. Of course, I'm saying that. Of course, I would say that. But when you really think about when you're that individual management company owner with one or two employees that are doing this, and you talk with them at periods of time, and you understand the flow and the problems you're having, whether it's in-house or it's not in-house, but it's with a company that still gives you your fair share of problems. It is worth it always to check how the other side lives. And I
hmm,
think that's all we're asking for is we have tons of time to talk to a lot of people about what we do,
right,
meaning we prioritize when we're not doing it, we make room to talk to people that want to learn more about our business. So we're fine with that, especially if it ends in we like to do business with you. But the opportunity comes from them getting our philosophy. And that's kind of what we're hoping
right.
to do with these, YouTube videos, is just to get a more of awareness and let the other guy try to be what we are. They
Absolutely.
can. Yeah. They can knock their socks off because it's going to be fun to watch.
Yes.
But we definitely believe in this. So we're doing it this way. Come follow us. We're doing it this way. And the thing is, it's so easy to get involved. We're not going to go into detail. And it's so easy to stop and do whatever else you want to do. So
Yeah.
really, it's almost like you should try us. Throw one in, throw a few in, see how it goes. Test
Yep.
us out. And then we pass the test, throw it all in there. What does it cost you? In a way, I almost could put a money back guarantee. It ain't going to cost you nothing. Doesn't cost me anything to put a money back guarantee in. So we'll do that. I have
Yeah.
no problem. We can edit this out if we need to. But I really feel that confident that people are going to, and we're not doing this for anybody. We're as well as we're on the phone with people going, can we work with them? Will it
Right.
work out with them? Is their attitude for growth sort of congruent to the way we think about it? And if it is, then we're all for it. Right now, we're fine.
Yeah.
We're fine at our size. Our clients are fine with us. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know what? I want to point out one more thing that I just came to mind. Our client size, right? we have, I think our smallest client is a self-managed condo in Delaware, and they have like 138 units or something like that. And the manager has been with us for, gosh, about I think 8 years. So that's our smallest one. They don't do a lot of business, but you know what? They don't have the time of the customer service. We never talk to Andy, right? Because why? Because our stuff works. It does what it says it's going to do. Did we customize? Absolutely. Delaware changed their laws in the time he's been with us, and we changed our system to meet the laws for Delaware for the one client in Delaware. So yeah, no one's too small for us. Too big? No, we have clients with uh, tens of thousands of doors. I won't go into details, but tens of thousands. We have multiple clients with tens of thousands of doors that have, you mentioned earlier, like two or three employees. These people have 30, 40 employees. And we have the same service.
Very significant cash flow that, when we talked with these clients in particular, it's so significant. They're like, well, how does that work?
Yeah.
Specifically, when do I get it?
Yeah.
Okay. So there have been concerns, and it's never been an issue. I want them to know that we take care of their money.
Right.
We
Absolutely.
get it to them. We account for it. We take pride in, that's yours, and we don't take it, and we have ours. We earned it.
That's right. And one of those told me last year they bought a building in 2020, and they told me they bought a building with the proceeds from Get Docs Now, above and beyond what they expected.
Okay, sorry, I thought it was just proceeds. No, it was more than they thought.
More than they expected, above and beyond what they expected.
That's great. So indirectly, we help them in a way. They attribute some of their ability to buy a building to the fact that what we said we do, increase profit, we did.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, that's huge.
Yeah, and that's a very discerning client. Some are more discerning than others. That's a very discerning client that is very in touch with the staff that use our service. They use everything. They do final inspections. They do all the accounting. They do lender questionnaires. They do everything. So they're very, very in tune with that, and they know that the service that we're providing, along with the money that they're making, is a massive benefit to their bottom line and to their company.
Yeah. Is that everything?
I'm sure there's more, but you know what? Maybe we'll have to come back and have episode number 2 of Bohemoth versus Botique.
So how would you summarize, like it's almost like we're saying, no, we really don't want a lot of business, but come on over. I mean, it kind of contradicts. I think what we're saying is we want to talk to people that are interested in comparing. We're going to see if it works. And if it does, we're going to fit you in. Do we want to do that with everybody? I could tell you, I don't. I know when we talk, you express, I want the ability, I'll say power, but more the ability to say no to a potential client, mm-hmm. which feels like that integrity part of Get Docs Now. That's where the integrity is that we actually we've been around the block a little bit. We kind of know trends. And when we see a type of client that's, like that client, that we kind of put 2 and 2 together and maybe avoid conflict, I would say is the best way to put it. Yeah. And I think that's helped us in the growth. It's part of the growth is not taking a certain type of client. So we got to sift through interested parties to go, this feels right, and it's a process.
Yeah, and we want clients that appreciate the partnership relationship. We've had talk to some people that say, they think of what we do as outservice or third party, outsource. You're a vendor, and you want to treat me like a vendor. I don't want to be treated like a vendor. We're not a vendor. The main thing is this, Joe. But
everything you said, you defined us as that we are a vendor. So it's hard to have that debate with somebody saying, no, we're not. We're better than a vendor.
If someone comes in with an attitude of Get Docs Now or my resale document processor is only a vendor, okay? And if they come in with that attitude and they maintain that attitude while they're with us, they're not getting the benefits that they should get, that they could
I
get,
agree.
that
I
we
agree with you.
want them to get. Okay. And so to say that we want our clients to have this particular experience is to say that we want clients that are open to that experience, which is open to a partnership, which is they appreciate when something goes wrong, they pick up the phone and we answer it and we take care of whatever it is in the moment. And that's where the benefit of us.
And I would also say that upon discovery of this video, our competitors will up their game for a day or a week. Our competitors will get sharp on their game. It will feel like they've gotten their crap together.
Yeah,
It'll feel like that because they will compete with this, what we're talking about. And I can say this like to them, you will do this and you can try. You
yeah,
gotta be able to retrofit. This is a dare. Dare to up your game. I dare HomeWise Docs. We can edit this out. You can edit that out if we leave it in. I dare them to up their customer service game because I just think they're so big that now it is their biggest issue. That their size is hurting them. It's
right.
not good for them. Yeah, sure, they reap the benefit of being huge and maybe whatever profit that adds to bottom line lender company. But okay, so we're not huge. We're the anti them. So how does it sound? Really ask yourself the question, how does it sound better than what we're selling, which is you're going to feel like the only client. You're not all the time. Maybe once in a while you'll feel like, well, they were busy today. We can be busy. That can happen. That's
Right,
fair. But in general, 90%, 95% of the time, you're not going to be inconvenienced with how people generally do business.
right, right. One of the things when we talk about their background versus our background, one of the things that really separates us and we talk about how we care about our clients is the lender specific questionnaires. We have an opposing position. Their position is we offer over 5,000 custom lender forms. Okay, their background is lender. Our background is real estate agent, insurance, risk management, protecting the investment, entrepreneur for you, entrepreneur, small business owner. And our position at Get Docs Now is custom lender forms are to the benefit of the bank and to the detriment of the management company or the association that the management company represents. And so our position is don't fill out custom forms. Okay, the national lending, government lenders, the Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and the HUD have their forms. Let's use their forms. Which one of the things that I've been told is that the HUD 9991. I actually read this in a lender trade magazine that HUD 9991 with that form 95% of all loans that are sold in America can be underwritten with that form. And the buyer of that loan will accept that form. So why would you need to do any other form? Fundamental difference. We're looking out for the management company and the association that they represent. And the other guys, our competitors, are trying to look out for the lenders to get them what they want.
Okay, can let me say something else too, which is they'll push how much money you can make with these things. So that's how they're
Yes.
going to appeal to you, the owner, going, you can make so much more money. Because the only thing we get from them as a pushback to, no, I don't have to do these forms, but I make all that money. I make it a personalized service. I charge $250. They don't regulate that. I make a lot of money. And I think that's a misnomer. Now, we have a video, either it's out or it's coming out, that talks about lender questionnaires as the issue. So
Right.
we'd like you to go to that.
Get more in
We're not
depth
going
on
to go
that.
in.
Yep.
We're not going deep here on this, but
Right.
our philosophy, if we had to do it, if it was law, we'd be doing it.
Right.
There's no doubt about it. We would do it. And we'd figure out a way. We'd pay the money. We'd hire the staff and we'd make 5,000 forms. But when we looked at it with attorneys, we've gone to seminars where they are attorneys giving the seminars, and it's a minority opinion, which is correct. A minority opinion can be correct, by the way. And not because the big guys say, oh, you make all this money. They are, in a sense, you're being placed in a libelous position. That's our position. So as a small company, that's value is information and informing our clients and keeping them up to date on laws. You do not have to do these forms. Therefore, we do not do them, but we give you the ability to do it. We don't take it away from you.
Right.
So we have a philosophy which our clients, I think, adapt, which makes their lives a lot easier. Would you say? I'm
Yeah.
elaborating on something I do not know. So you can.
It makes their lives easier. It makes our lives harder because the lenders bug them
Yeah.
to get the questionnaires, and we tell them our clients, whenever you get a phone call, tell them to call us, and so
Yep.
they call us. So it increases our need to have customer service personnel to field those phone calls. But we take care
I'd
of it.
rather have that than putting our clients in the libelous position that they are, because they're
Absolutely.
signing these documents. And in some cases, here's where how do you trust this company to be the entity that fills these out for you? Sure, all that information is totally correct. And and
Yeah.
and you never see the form, yet you get the money. Who wouldn't do that? But what are you doing?
Right.
What are you doing yourself?
Right.
It's like eating McDonald's for 30 years. And what are you doing yourself? They're the biggest. They're the best, right? Sure. Yeah, they are.
Well,
So you really just have to understand our philosophy, and I think you jump on board.
yeah, and I bring that up here. I definitely we want to send you to the other video to get more depth on that. But I bring that up here because that's a benefit of being with a boutique versus a behemoth. We care about our clients. We're looking out for our clients. We're looking out for their best interest all the time, not just when it benefits us.
We are saying, and we aren't saying that they don't care. We aren't saying they
No.
don't care. We are saying they don't care. We're saying both. Because if they're talking about what they think you care about, which is more profit, and that's how they're developing it, is by putting you in a libelous position, it's really not a good thing. And yes, though you're making more profit to what we do to make more profit, that they can even the playing field and be competitive. But in essence, when you hear what we're talking about on this one topic and then align all the other things we're talking about being a boutique, at some point, I don't see why. We're finding out that people want this. That's what we're finding out. We are
People appreciate the different attitude. People appreciate that.
They kind of doubt it. I think they kind of doubt this. Hey, we're a small company. We do it on purpose. Sure, yeah. Mm-hmm. I think they doubt that is actually how we think. And that's, you got to be just like monks. You really don't make money. You really don't want. No, we make money, but we do it methodically. And I think that's the puzzling thing to our competitors.
Yeah.
They wonder why they haven't put us out of business. So once again, boutique versus mammoth. David versus Goliath. How do we end this? What's the thought you want to leave with them?
The thought I want to leave is if you appreciate being heard and being treated as an individual and having your voice heard and having a partner in the second largest revenue in your company, then you should talk to us.
I agree.
Okay.